It involves your body and your soul too. I've got this thing I want to show you. It involves your body and your soul too.
Hey, I'm Kallitechnis and we're in Montreal, and this is Theorematic.
As I want to step into my life and I'll show you what I do to be free. I was walking one day crying.
I got into music, I'd say about a year and a half ago, when I decided I'd be taking it a bit more seriously. Prior to that, it was just a hobby of mine, really, and one of my passions, one that I'd say I'd suppress because I thought ultimately that I'd have a more academic career, just because I think I've been told my whole life that's probably like the safer thing, and I just never entertained doing music as a job, like doing it for real, and I never really gave myself a chance. And I think a year and a half ago I had this epiphany, this like aha moment where I was just like, if I don't do this now, I'm gonna regret that my whole life, and I really don't want my like existence to just be characterized by that burden of like what if I had tried. So just kind of threw myself into it, and I had a lot of people believe in me to give me that push to at least like try recording and just start writing my own stuff. And I gave myself a chance, and here we are now.
Every time I get comfortable, I mess up and wind up telling me I told you so.
I think the problem is that I don't think you get to find the style, and I think that's something that I was kind of like worried about when I started writing. Was like, oh my God, am I gonna have that special something that I recognize in my favorite artists? And I think it's just a matter of doing something intuitively and just kind of like going for it. But I think that's really just shaped from somebody's listening experience. So I think my style is very much just a fusion of all the things that I like, all the artists that I've listened to, whether it's something conscious or subconscious. I just think it's every type of listening experience that I've had, things that I notice in songs that work, that don't work, and then when it's time for me to write, that just comes out, whether I'm thinking about it or not.
I don't listen no more.
I usually like writing on the spot, actually, so I don't write something, bring it to the studio and build off of that. I like getting inspired by the producer that I'm working with, the energy that day, what I'm feeling. So yeah, I very much just kind of like improvising, and I think it's like a bit more realistic for me, just because that's the way life works. Like, life is super dynamic and it's happening right now, so I like to write my music that way as well.
Are you ready for me? We're living life in fantasy.
It's so funny because it wasn't, again, a conscious thing. It just kind of like happened. I think ever since I cut my hair, I used to have this like really long, luscious, curly hair, and once I cut my hair, I just thought that like hats looked cuter on me. So I just started rocking some colorful things. I mean, I'm obviously like influenced by hip hop and R&B, so I think I've always just been attracted to that style and incorporating like urban wear, street wear with my own style that's like a bit eclectic and vintage inspired. So I think it just came about naturally, but I think I was just really attracted to the colors of like the candles that I found and incorporating that like on the daily. And I don't think people are bold enough, to be honest. Like I don't think, not in terms of like Kangol wearing, but just hats in general. I think they used to be a huge part of everybody's wardrobe. Like there was a time in like the 60s where like you wouldn't be caught dead without your hat, right? But I think that's kind of like died out a little bit, and I like the idea of bringing it back as a staple accessory.
Are you ready for me? I'm falling for you gracefully.
I'm a psych major, so when I had my little existential crisis and I wasn't sure whether I wanted to do music or not, I was studying psychology, and I'm just really fascinated by the way people think and perceive the world. And I just started realizing the significance of color in our lives and what meaning we attribute to them, and how they could impact our moods. So I think I just started through my social media kind of like having people associate their moods with colors and just realize like how much meaning we associate to colors and how in fact they're used to almost manipulate us through advertising. Not almost, they do. And I just think it's important that people are conscious of all these different senses that we have. We tend to just like focus on our sight and mildly our hearing, but like there's just so much going on around us that I thought it'd be cool to kind of like through my social media again, just like put that in people's lives by doing these little like colors to get lost in series and these like color gradients as feelings. And yeah, I just like to think that our senses fuse. It's this idea of synesthesia. So I like to kind of get myself thinking, get people thinking of sounds as colors, or just any really type of perception to associate that to a color as well, just to get you thinking beyond this very like simple way of thinking and perceiving the world.
That's a blessing.
It's going to be for between 7 and 8 songs. I'm currently in the final like mixing stages and just kind of like fine-tuning everything. But yeah, it's called Chromatic. It's 8 new songs, so I'm not going to just be including some singles that I've already released onto it. So 8 new songs, going to release that in January. And I'm excited. I think some songs are a bit more mature. I'm excited for people just to hear my progression in terms of writing. I think that's just gotten better through practice and just through a couple of learning experiences I've had. So yeah, it's new and hopefully better. It's better in my opinion, but hopefully everybody else thinks so too. I think creating music for me, at least now, is just really about creating something that somebody can connect to, can heal with, can help understand themselves with. I think we all go through a lot of moments of self-doubt, and we just don't know how to approach life, and it gets super overwhelming, and there are a lot of stresses that I think I've always just wanted my music to be a reassuring presence in somebody's life, because I think that's the way I've always used music. It's just as something calming, as something like to distract me in a good way, or to like get me pumped for this or excited for that. I see it as a tool to create a type of happiness, if you will, a type of inner peace.
Keep your fears at bay, where the